You think you know who first invented the mirror you look at every morning? Makeup that highlights your beauty. The sandwich you take with you everywhere. Perfume that gives you character. The calendar you'd be lost without. Prosthetics that complete you. The flute that moves your emotions. Paper and ink for documenting history. It doesn't end there. Writing tools, measuring tools, surgical tools, and even mathematics that gives you the power of knowledge. Who do you think pioneered all of this? It all began with one civilization. The same civilization that introduced grand architectures, astronomy, and even the oldest peace treaty. The list goes on and on and on. This is the Egyptian civilization, a civilization so great that a science was created after it. For the past 200 years, Egyptology revealed countless secrets and discoveries of more than 5,000 years of history, and more is yet to come. This is Egyptology, 200 years of science in the making.
Now, not only are there amazing innovations when it comes to the preservation of heritage, but also Egypt, as you well know, is hosting COP27. I think it's next week, isn't it? It's very soon. And I want to welcome on stage now, and I'm delighted that she is here, to welcome Her Excellency Ghada Shalaby, the Vice Minister, Arabic Republic of Egypt, who will share with us now an update on COP27, but also follow that with an overview of the cultural and historical developments that are basically ensuring Egypt's destination sustainability, and that goes from community engagement to economic diversity. Your Excellency. Thank you. Have a seat. Let's sit here, shall we? Yep. Are you comfortable? Now then, I should say, just to explain about COP. So the 2022 United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, more commonly referred to as COP27, will be the 27th session of the Conference of the Parties to the UNFCCC, held, and I was right, it is next week, November the 6th, to the 18th, 2022. It takes place in Egypt's coastal city, which many of you will know, Sharm el-Sheikh, and the conference builds on the momentum from last year's iteration, COP26. So let's just start with basics, Your Excellency, because I think there's still a lot of people who don't really know what COP27 is about. So can you explain that for us, please? Yes, please use the microphone, yeah. Let's just check it's on. Yes, very good.
Great. Well, good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome from the land of the Egyptologists and Egyptian civilization. Happy to be with you today, and many thanks for all the organizers and everyone who has put this event today and last year as well. It was a great success, and I wish you all the best for a continued success as well. Well, COP27 is where all the leaders, they come together in one arena, where the land of Sharm el-Sheikh will become a UN territory managed by the UN agency, bringing all those leaders. Over than 120 leaders will be joining up in Sharm el-Sheikh next week, talking about climate change, the most important subject that we're talking about, and keeping our destinations, our country, our planet healthy, breathing, and sustainable for our lives, for our generations, for our grandchildren to be able to enjoy it as we've enjoyed it as well. And the changes that we're facing now with global warming affecting the sea levels, affecting your beautiful ski resorts, will be, demolished if we don't really take an action, if those world leaders does not take an action. And why this is important, because of what we've been seeing nowadays. With the war effects, with the warm weather, I wouldn't expect that Nîmes at this time of the year would be that warm. It's as close as in Cairo, which I didn't really expect that, this warmth. So it's the chance that we have to move from promises, from talks into actions, bringing all those world leaders to agree on one action plan to be put together and come with, actionable decisions.
You mentioned a couple of travel-related things there. How much is travel part of the agenda of COP27?
Well, this event is led by two entities, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and affiliation with the United Nations, and also the Ministries of Environment. But being held in a touristic city, Sharm el-Sheikh, the most beautiful, loved city for all nature lovers, tourism has a big part. From our side, as a regulator, the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, regulating the travel industry, we have a lot of focus on the hotels industry, transforming those hotels into green, sustainable properties, and it's just the journey is starting. It's our commitment as a country to take the sector towards this green and sustainable developments. Not only the hotels, but also the scuba diving activities, all the diving centers, all our tourist guides, all the footprint that will be managed in the city is taking place to become a more sustainable and green initiative. It's a roadmap that has just started, and we're committed. It's our presidency commitment that we are taking place in it and taking this responsibility for.
It's a big deal, isn't it? I mean, it's a huge event.
It is.
The eyes of the world are going to be on Cairo. Just tell me, why did Egypt decide to host this event?
Well, it's after so many years that I think that the UN have seen our commitment and the mega projects that the country has gone through. And you're seeing the statement from President Abdel Fattah Sisi taking this initiative and commitment from the country. And we're taking it also on behalf of Africa. So we're putting Africa on the table, where all the leading countries that perhaps have contributed a lot in the weather change needs to take an action towards saving the planet. A lot of initiatives that needs to be looked at. It's a roadmap that we need to all work on. It's not an individual, and this, just to give you an example, this is St. Catherine. It's in about 100 kilometers north of Sharm el-Sheikh, and it's one of the most beautiful preserved places where three religions have come together in this land. So again, it's the chance to save the livelihoods of the people, of the whole planet. And as I've said, it's a roadmap that after taking decisions and really commitments of the agendas that will be agreed, some finances also has to be taken part of that, because there is a lot of investments has to come on the way to finance and to fund these activities and these changes. So putting Africa on the table, putting the hotel and tourism industry on the table is an important thing that we're bringing next week.
Just to say, I think the African tourism industry, this is the century for, I'm going to say this is the century for Africa. I'm going to Morocco next week where there's a big investment conference, and then later on to Botswana. Africa, I think, is rising. I think that's a brilliant thing. In terms of rising to that sustainability challenge, what does that mean for for Sharm el-Sheikh?
These are Sharm el-Sheikh numbers, and as I said, that it's just the journey that has started. So we're changing the solar efficiency work that is taking place either in the hotels or at the airport, using green transportation, buses. We're pushing buses with gas and electrical equipments. However, and maybe the manufacturers need to focus more on producing buses that is good for tourists, because so far they are not equipped for accommodating luggage for travelers, so it's only for domestic and internal transportation, but yet a lot of work has to be done on this map.
Let's move on now then to Egyptology, to its civilization, to its amazing historical treasures. And there have been developments there in terms of sustainability, and both, and when I say that, I mean both economic and social, so we're talking about the local community too. But tell me, what are your favorites? Which ones do you think, yeah, I like what's happening here?
Well, we always envy ourselves of the proximity of Egypt. It's in the middle of the world. It's about 3 hours to 4 hours flight from Europe, quite close from Asia, from Middle East. So we're quite central, and this is one of the benefits for all travelers to come to Egypt. Also, we favor ourselves with the climate, 365 days of sunshine. And our new campaign coming up with saying follow the sun, where winter is going to hit hard, and you don't need a lot of energy to get warm, but just sit in the sun. Egypt has a lot of diversified products for tourists, and all are guarding sustainable development and sustainable keeping for tourists, from women empowerment and women products, to beach resorts, to hiking trips, to underwater, to archaeological sites. So we have it all in Egypt with a 4 hours flight from here.
So just tell me this then. This, in a sense, is a new Egypt, which is actually showcasing the old Egypt as well as the modern Egypt. So what can, when a tourist comes to Egypt, what can they expect?
Well, what we have here is not only tourist destination attractions, but also it's how the government is committed towards sustainability. Building this Bimban solar park, it's going to be the biggest in the world, with about 37 kilometers space, producing 1.4 megawatt of electricity. This is one of the mega projects that the country is putting together in the world of sustainability. And if we go to the next slide, also, next slide. Also another mega project taking place by the Mediterranean Sea, on the other side of France, building El Alamein city. This is one of the most modern cities, sustainable development. Again, it's a touristic city, but also is going to be attractive and attracting tourists all year round, not only for tourists, but also for 365 living with building universities. There are schools, hospitals, so it's not only a tourist attraction city, but also a livelihood one. Also another project by the Red Sea, El Galala city, with the same concept. This is the modern Egypt that we're trying to show the world, building new cities by the sea resorts, attracting tourists, as well as the livelihood of the Egyptians. Another one is the new capital, and the new capital is the size of it equals to Singapore. and is built to accommodate over than 6 million population, and it's almost the size of Denmark. So it's not a city, but it's a country, and this is part of the New Egypt development, again, that is going towards digitization, going towards the modern life, and with an airport, with an Olympic city, with a heritage and culture activities, the new capital, administrative capital, this is what it's going to offer. So these are part of the initiatives and the mega projects that the country is building.
Just finally, Vice Minister, we are talking now about sustainability, and you did just mention it, about sustainability, as we know, is not just about environment, it is also about diversity. It is very much about local communities. True. We are changing the paradigm, in a sense, of tourism to be not so focused on the actual visitor, the consumer, but the host, the people
True.
who you are inviting, the people who are inviting you in to their place. So how much is the community now, how much are the local people, how much are they stakeholders in this new vision that you are showing us?
This is another project, this is another initiative that the government is also looking after. It's called Haya Karima, Living with Dignity, that is going to affect almost 60 million people who were under the poverty line. They didn't have the basic necessities of living. And these initiatives is going right to their villages, leveraging their livelihoods and increasing their awareness of the modern life. Not only that, but also we've approached some of these villages where they have a foundation of tourism or archaeological assets, whereby we can train them, we can educate them on how they can welcome tourists, because lots of Egypt is floating on archaeological sites and antiquities. So they get educated on how to deal with tourists, and this will bring them upskilling their living conditions and their economical conditions. So this is another initiative that we're...
Absolutely crucial, isn't it, that local people, communities are now central to what tourism offers. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us. As I say, I'm lucky enough, I'm going back to Egypt.
Are you coming for the COP?
For the COP, no, I'm not. I'm going to be there at the same time as the COP. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? But
yeah.
I think I'm going straight to Luxor, so
okay.
we'll avoid what's going to happen there. But good luck with it. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you.
And can you please give a hand to Madame or Dr.
Thank
Shalaby?
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much.